Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Reel. I'm your host, John, and today we are kicking off episode number 17. This is second season of the Behind the Reel podcast. Been doing it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, but we officially started season 2 the beginning of this year. Been a little bit spotty, so I apologize for those of you that look forward to the podcast every week. I've been kind of MIA, I suppose, when it comes to the podcast, but we're here tonight. We're going to be talking to Lance Burris from Missouri, and he is pretty well known in that area. And even on a national scale, you can see him making some waves in the BASSMASTer Kayak Series as well. Recently won an event on Table Rock Lake, so we'll dig into that a little bit. And today we've also got a really cool giveaway that we're doing. We just hit 3,000 subscribers on the channel here. So shout out to all of you guys that have been supporting this thing all this time. 3,000 subscribers. We've got some really great sponsors to mention that are giving away some product for that occasion. And one of those is F5 Rod Company. Fairly new sponsor to the channel. We're going to be giving away one of those F5 Ghost Code spinning rods tonight. Any of you that have purchased any Behind the Reel merch are going to be eligible for one of 6 prizes. So we're going to be giving away the F5 Ghost Code spinning rod, and I will say that I've been really enjoying my F5 Ghost Codes here recently. And another longtime sponsor, will say, Legal Dope Swim Baits, and we're giving away one of the most coveted swim baits on the market today, and that is the Legal Dope Super Tiny. I'm giving this bait away in this exact red craw color, so this is a $150 value. If you can get your hands on one, you're going to pay $150, but they are very hard to get. We're going to give away one of these to one of you tonight. We also have, so that actually came out of my pocket once Legal Dope found out that I was giving this bait away. They donated another bait. So whoever wins the second Legal Dope giveaway is actually going to pick what bait that you get. So if you want a super tiny, you can have one of these, or you can pick from several different options that he has. Next thing we're giving away is an Amped Outdoors lithium battery, 15 amp hour lithium battery with a charger. Shout out to Amped Outdoors, fairly new sponsor of the channel, but I have been running those batteries for quite a long time. Installed a ton of them for Russell Marine Products, and a lot of really great feedback from our customers on them. Biz Baits is another longtime sponsor, and they're giving away a $50 prize pack. This is just an example of what you may get in your package. They're actually going to drop ship something. I'm going to have something drop ship from them. So you got your Dizzy Diamond for your finesse worm. You've got your, what is this? The Biz Bug. This is a baby Biz Bug, one of my favorites. You got the Cutter Craw if you want a lot of action. Great summertime bait. And we've got the Killer Craw right here as well. So a lot of great colors. A lot of salt in these baits, and some pretty stanky garlic stuff. So last but not least, Save Your Outdoors. We're going to give away one of these retrieval kits, and this is definitely something you don't want to leave home without, because if you drop a rod in the water, pretty hard to get that thing back. But with this, it makes it a breeze. So shout out to Save Your Outdoors. They've been a longtime sponsor as well, and somebody Lance is probably familiar with turned me on to them. That's Richie Lockery, a fellow MOYAK angler. So shout out to the Missouri guys over there. For everybody that is tuning in right now, if you have purchased some Behind the Reel merch, I want you to comment over there in the live comment section what you purchased. So I already see Mr. Ivan Diaz there saying, let's go. It's been a while. He's reminded me that we've taken too long of a break from these podcasts. So appreciate you tuning in. And he did get a hat, but go ahead and comment what you got over there. And then later on in this podcast, we'll be giving that stuff away. If you have any questions, I want you to put them over there in that live comment section. A couple people already commenting over there. But if you have something that you want to ask Lance, if you have some sort of topic you would like us to discuss, I asked the MOYAK guys. It was kind of a last-minute post, but I'm sure some of those guys have some funny stories or some interesting things they may want to share. So you guys, it's not too late. Don't post on the Facebook page because I'm not going to be looking on there, but post right here on the live comment section feed, and we'll get right to it. So shout out to Microbe Fishing and my boy Derek Organic. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring Lance on, and we're going to just get right to it, you guys. What's up, man?
Hey.
Toughing it out in the garage like me tonight.
Yeah, trying to find a little bit of heat relief down the basement instead.
What was that?
I found the basement instead. The garage was a little moist.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yes. All right. Well, glad you didn't have to tough it out. Okay, so some of the things that we had originally kind of met up and talked about touching on the Table Rock Lake event. So we'll get to that. But for the folks at home that maybe aren't familiar with you, I'm sure you'll have a lot of MOYAK guys coming in and watching this. But for some of the guys that maybe aren't from the local club, if you want to just briefly introduce yourself, kind of how you got into the sport, and just maybe just a little brief history on how you got here and what you're doing.
So I grew up around Lake the Ozarks. Grew up fishing on bass boats. And in 2016, my brother-in-law, Mike Kiefer, he invited me to fish a championship tournament through a local trail called ORAT, and it's just a river series. And I'd fished out of kayaks before, but just nothing competitively. Didn't even really know there was a thing. So that kind of got me hooked in 2017. Started my first year at MOYAK, and then just kind of started working my way up into bigger trails from there. But
yeah, the MOYAK trail is a pretty big trail, especially for just kind of a local series. A lot of competition, including yourself. Was that intimidating, or was just that being your introduction into kayak fishing? Was there any sort of intimidation factor in the size of that club, or I guess back in 2017 they probably weren't quite as big? What did the club look like then, and compared to what it looks like now?
Then there was about 15 to 20 people fishing.
Yeah.
And now, trying to think when Josh Booth took it over, if it was, I think it was 18 or 19. He took it over and just really grew it from there. And now I think they're averaging usually about 85 every tournament. And
yeah,
up over 100 in a couple of them.
Yeah. So
I
would say, yeah, he's done a lot of good things for the club and for the sport even. So now, are you participating in the All-American series as well?
Well, I did. I did a couple of them last year, and for the first 2 years I got started, I fished them, and when they were single day events. And then this year, I was trying to keep from just spreading myself so wide into all different trails. So I just focused on just MOYAK and bass this year. Just so I had one national event. I wasn't trying to bounce around so much.
So how are you doing in both of those trails?
Right now in the bass, I'm sitting at 6th overall for AOI.
Yeah.
And MOYAK, I'm not quite sure yet. I've only got to fish 2 of them because 2 of them overlap with some of the bass events. So after it's your best 5, then they really start seeing your AOI start adding up. But you get to drop your two worst scores, and I already dropped those since I didn't fish them. So I just got to do better the whole rest of the year.
Okay. Yeah. Pressure's on. Do you tend to do well under pressure?
Yeah, usually. I'll usually put in about locally, I'll just pre-fish one day and just kind of go off of that. But yeah, it's usually when the pressure's on, I'll tend to perform a little better.
Okay. Heck yeah. So what's your next event for the year?
La Crosse, Wisconsin. The next bass event next week. So I'll be
Nice.
leaving Wednesday morning next week, and it'll be the 8th and 9th. So I've done decent up there a few times, and it's probably my favorite event of the year to go to. Just you catch so many fish, and you never know what's going to bite because we got so much pike up there and dogfish and just everything that has teeth.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it seems I've never been, but it seems like a really, really cool place. Kind of like one of those bucket list fisheries.
Yeah, you
And
can hog all day or just basically power fish yourself to death.
really. Yeah, it seems like you always see people hooking up with some really big northerns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go back over here. What I'm going to do, this will kind of give us a feel for your style of fishing. Were you able to grab one of those tackle boxes?
I did.
Okay, awesome. What I want to do before we get to that, I've got a little icebreaker, I call it. It's called This or That. And this will just give the folks at home kind of an introduction or an idea of your style of fishing. So you got to pick one or the other. So let's just go right into it. We've got This or That. Are you choosing a Texas rig or are you going with a jig?
Texas rig.
Okay. And what's your go-to?
Texas rig, I'm probably throwing a brush hog.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay, so next one we've got shaky head or drop shot.
Shaky head.
Going with the shaky head. Any particulars there?
Actually, Propagator came out with a new worm, their COG worm, and it's been my favorite here just lately. It's been hooking up pretty good.
And is that that kind of like ringworm thing?
So that's the DC worm.
Okay.
This one actually has kind of a big bulb on its tail that just kind of waves around, floats a little bit, but just has a different profile.
Nice. And are you oh, he's got one. Heck yeah. Let's see it. And what about a shaky head jig? Like, are you particular on that? Do you have one that you use or
So they've actually got a. See if I got it sitting here. I got them tied on. I might have broke it off right at the end. So I threw a pile of them in here. Kind of the reason they call it a junk drawer.
So is this like your drawer that you have in your kayak?
Yeah. So everything sits. Basically, if I'm swapping lures out and I want to do it quick, if they're my most popular stuff, I'll leave a handful of them down at the base of it.
Yeah.
Or throughout the day, I'll cut them off. They drop straight down in it, and I can pick them back up if I want to switch back to it.
How do you like those edge boxes?
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
If they made a little bit lighter, they're supposed to handle the Elastic and stuff like that, and they do for a while, and then they they start taking shape.
Do they? Yeah.
There we are. They're sitting somewhere. You can see that head.
Oh yeah. Yep. Kind of
It has a flat back on it, so it allows it to stand straight up.
Yep.
And then there is the COG.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So that's the tail I was talking about.
Is that your go-to color?
Yeah, Okeechobee.
Is that what that is? It looks awful blue.
So we got kind of blue on one side, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a limited run they ran. I'm not sure if they decided to go ahead and put it back out there as a full option, but it was something they ran for limited. And it's just a color I like to throw. It just kind of works in a lot of different waters.
Does it work in dirty stuff as well?
It does not. I mean, not bad. Dirty stuff, I don't tend to throw a whole lot of my plastics. I'll tend to, if it's a little more pressured, I'll throw it on there. But I mean, the blue is pretty bright, so I think it will show up pretty good. Or I just dip the tail in it, and it probably show up real good on there.
You're fishing quite a bit of clear water stuff around home, aren't you?
I try not as much. I'm not a big fan of fishing a lot of clear water.
Really?
Kind of grew up like the Ozarks. I was on the Osage Arm, which was never really the cleanest water.
Yeah.
So I was just used to fishing a lot of that. So if there's clear water, I try to go find the opposite end of the lake and get away from it.
Nice.
And I figure fish are biting everywhere, but if I can fish what I'm comfortable with, I tend to do a little better.
There you go. I'm a dirty water guy myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been one of our questions. Yeah, clear water, dirty water. So we've got dirty water on that one. Jerk bait or swim bait?
Jerk bait.
Going with the jerk bait. And what's your go-to on that one?
Probably mega bass.
Okay. Are you fishing shallow or are you fishing deep if you had your way?
Oh, shallow.
Going shallow? Okay.
Yeah, if I could stay in 10 feet the whole year, I would.
kind of a power guy, power technique, power fishing?
Yeah.
Okay. Green pumpkin or watermelon red? I think I know the answer to that based on your watercolor preference.
Yeah, I mean, I carry them both just for depending on when the sun's hitting, but it's probably going to be green pumpkin.
And are you going with a vibrating jig or a spinner bait?
That's really 50-50.
You can only pick one.
Probably vibrating.
I guess this time of year, are you going to gravitate more towards the vibrating jig this time of year? Or?
I actually keep them both tied on
all year.
Permit. If they don't bite one, they'll bite the other.
There you go. I like that. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's see. That's all I got there for the this or that. What I got here is I'm going to pull up our Table Rock event. It looks like this was the second event of the year for MOYAK. And I remember specifically seeing you post the day before the tournament, and I don't recall what your post was. I don't remember exactly what you said, but I remember when I saw you announcing that you won the event. I did remember the post the day before, and it looked like maybe you had been putting in some work, or maybe it was like a pre-fishing picture that you had posted. What was your mindset going into this event? Maybe remind me on that.
Well, Table Rock's one of those lakes that I never do great on it, and I'll tend to fish a lot of history because everywhere else, if I try somewhere new, it doesn't work out great. It's got a lot of just cleaner water, a lot of popular places, and I try to stay away from everybody else. So I went in to just go basically wing it because I did not have a great practice, but I did go and try a new spot, and I see a spot on the map, and it looked like a spot that I had fished in down at Lake Fork, and right about the same water temp, time of year, the spawn and everything. And I thought, well, if they're going to be around here, they're going to be in that spot. So I didn't even go try it out. I just kind of fished around the area, just didn't go. It was basically a bowl. And on tournament day, fished up to it, and the wind was blowing in on it. And it was packing a whole bunch of shad, and then the bass were just they're schooling in there. And so, yeah, I went in, just didn't really feel like I had much of a chance. Usually in spring, I think I'm always in about the 30 mark, the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
And,
spring.
Get a little surprised.
Spring is spring a tough time of year for a power fishing guy? Is that what it is, or?
Not usually. This year was kind of different. I actually started throwing a Cinco for probably more this year than I have in my entire life. And
Okay.
I threw it out there just because I was kind of getting desperate. So that's kind of my desperate go-to lure.
Sure.
Caught a few of them on it. Thought, well, I'm just going to go throw a Cinco around and hate my life the whole tournament.
At least it wasn't a Ned rig.
Yeah, I just cut it off and throw it in the water anyways. Get hung up about that fast.
Yeah. I can relate though.
They don't tend to like the Ned rig on 20-pound braid that much.
Is that all you throw?
Yeah, braid. My smallest braid is usually 20 pound. I'll typically throw a leader on it if I have to throw jerk bait or something in pretty clean water where I need it. But
She's strictly braid.
yeah, most of the time, except for crankbaits. Crankbaits I get the fluoro out.
Okay. Yeah, one of our guys, Marco, he's probably watching here tonight. He's a straight braid, no leader, all the way around. But we have a lot dirtier water around here, so he can get away with it a little bit easier than you would fishing a lot of those clear bodies of water. That probably wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I just went back and I found the post that I was referring to, and yeah, it wasn't like a confidence post or anything like that.
No.
But yeah, you made this post, yeah, and it says 106 registered anglers at that point. Probably a couple more snuck in, I would imagine. What does this say here? This says 107. So you had you beat 106 people. It looks like, wow, look at the top of the field there. So you had 88 inches. The next guy was down 87. You had 387s. You're in 80s, clear down to damn near 20th place. Man, was it fishing really good? What does it normally take on Table Rock? Is 88 inches kind of par for the course, or?
In the morning or in the beginning of the year, you usually see about low 90s.
Okay.
I think 91, 92 is usually the highest I've seen on Table Rock.
Okay.
So it's usually upper 80s to low 90s. And so I didn't think I had a chance of winning it. I decided not to look at the leaderboard at all throughout the whole day, just because I didn't want to see it.
Yeah. I like that approach. I just don't have that discipline.
Yeah. But I look at it too many times, and I'm up there pretty high, and then leaderboard goes off, and everybody starts throwing their fish in, and I was like, I'm not going to look at it, get my hopes up. I'm just going to go weigh in and start talking to people and wait for the surprise to happen.
Yeah. So, and it really, by the time they announced it, did you feel like you might be up there? I mean, you got 107 people in this tournament. There's no way you could have talked to all of them. So were you surprised when you heard your name? Or I guess by the time they called your name, you heard kind of the other scores and stuff. So you kind of knew where you're at by the time they called you.
Well, the upper 80s were creeping up pretty quick. And they called me in the number 2 spot now, which I can't remember who it was, or I can't.
Number 2 was Joseph Mursky.
Yeah, Mursky. Yeah, he called us back up there, and I was like, well, I got second place. Yeah, because he talked about, I think he had some big ones. I think he had a couple big ones. And so
he had a 19 and a quarter and an 18 and a quarter. So
I was just getting ready to take my second place spot and be happy with it. And then when he said he had 87, I was like, are you kidding me?
So here's your, it's going to say not available. Let's try it again. Let's try this one. Okay, so here's your 18-inch fish there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was earlier. Is that a post-spawn fish?
So we were pre-spawn.
Okay. I was going to say this was what, early May?
Yeah, I believe we were pre-spawn, and they were schooling up pretty early. That water temp was there were a couple on beds. I think I remember seeing a couple on beds, but they were moving up I had lost 2 over 20 that day on a spook.
Oh, wow.
And I thought for sure that was going to cost it because I had one, it was every bit of 22.
Dang.
And so my brother-in-law, Mike Kiefer, he was basically fishing beside me in the same area. He heard it hit, looked over, I'm fighting it, making a run right at me. And I'm catching up to it, and I grabbed my net, and I still had a little too much line out. And I thought I'd just jab down and let him just run right into it because he's coming at me that fast. And missed, and went under the kayak and pulled off. And it jumped one time out there after he caught it, and I got sick after that one.
Big one. Yeah, that would have jumped you up quite a bit. You know, your small fish was 17 inches, so that would have put you kind of where you were talking about. You thought it would take that lower 90s. You know.
For the 2 that I lost, I should have had about 93 inches.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, you didn't need it.
No, luckily.
So did you catch them all on the Senko, or?
Actually, I didn't catch anything on the Senko that day.
Oh, okay.
I caught every bit of them on a spook, just pushing it just as fast as your arm can take it, and I'd have to take about a 10-minute break, throw something else just to get my arm a rest.
Really? Got the W. The real Devin. Is he a MOYAK guy? I don't know. Well, welcome to the show, Devin. Appreciate you tuning in. And so was this? You had another event going on? Was it just a team series or?
Yeah. So they always have a team in conjunction with it.
Yeah.
So we didn't take the team side.
Who was your partner that day?
Mike Kiefer.
And it is. How do they do their team deal? Is it do you have to stick with the same partner all year long, or?
Yeah, you can have one fill in for you and to cover, but so in the past they've always done it basically my best 5, his best 5, and this year they switched it up a little bit, so it's our best 3.
Yeah.
For each person, and that. To me, that actually equalizes everything because, you could have a couple of guys only have 3 fish each. Take it.
Right. Yeah. I guess that would be a cool concept to see somebody who maybe was out of the money, see a couple guys who were out of the money still. That'd be cool. I'm sure you've seen that once or twice, have you?
We actually started seeing it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it might have been this tournament. So a couple of guys that throw some of the big swim baits.
There you go.
And
they're just going for the team series, huh?
Yeah, they basically they took the team side and or got up there real close and just had 3 big ones and a couple of small ones, and
that's cool.
It works on that side.
That's what we're doing too. I guess we've done that for the last couple of years, 3 and 3 for the team side. But I think that's Devin Pino. So hopefully I'm saying your name right. But yeah, KBN guy, Kansas guy. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so and then you've got Joseph, and then you've got Chad Davison down here. He's been tearing it up down there. Is he somebody you're always kind of chasing after on these leaderboards?
Oh yeah, I'm usually following him. Yeah, he's a sticker around here. I'll usually count on him if he doesn't have much service to input throughout the day. That's why I tend to not look at the leaderboard anymore, because I figure he's bringing in some big ones here right at the end.
Here Levi says, all of my schoolers at tourney were 14s, but it sure was fun wearing them out for an hour straight with the drop shot. Did you ever resort to the drop shot?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, they'd bust, and you could throw the spook out there, and they'd be all over it. But I just kept fan casting. Had about probably 200 or 300 yard stretch on this bowl that I just went back and forth and back and forth. And
really?
So it's that. I switch over to chatterbait, and then once my arm was not numb anymore, I go back to twitching it again.
There you go. Heck yeah, you can't beat that, catching them on top water all day long. Do you have that tackle tray there? If you wanna show us kind of is this your kind of like catch all where you have all of your most used stuff at, or?
Yep. So this.
There you go.
So I keep the plastics up on top. Bonafide's got this cover that you can slip your plastics in or whatever on top of it. Worms, more of the crocodile baits. So this is still a mess from just coming back from Truman. We got Chomper's version of a brush hog. Just out of there. I got kind of a special color. So Old Blue, Bait and Tackle started making get into the bass side. They've been in crappie baits for a long time, and they make some of the best crappie baits out there. And they started getting into some of the bass baits, and they're making some custom colors for us. They're a local guy here around Lake the Ozarks, and you can pretty much tell him what color you want, and he'll make any of it.
Nice.
So he was the sponsor that jumped on this year, and I was looking for someone that I could just have any color I wanted, because hitting these different lakes, especially like Lake Fork, you either have to drive around and hit some of the different tackle shows in the spring looking for just that different custom bait, or have something that'll make it for you.
Yeah.
Or make it yourself, which I don't have the area to do it, but.
Yeah, I thought about pouring my own plastics once upon a time, and decided I'd rather just buy them.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. After watching the process, I decided the same thing.
Casual Bass Guy wants to know: have you always been in a bona fide?
I haven't. I actually started out in. Let's see.
And is it bona fide or is it bona fide? Let's just settle this right now.
I say bona fide.
Okay. All right.
I've heard it both ways, but it probably depends on what side of the country you're in. But I say bona fide, so.
Okay. Bona fide it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I started out in a Send FS10, so a sit-in kayak. I found out that wasn't going to work real fast after nothing fits around you.
Yeah.
And so first year of starting in the tournaments, I actually got into the Vibe.
Sea Ghost.
Yeah, Sea Ghost, they're 10-footer or 12.
Okay. 130, I think they had, or maybe a smaller one.
The 110. I was in the 110. Yeah. So I got started on that because I was doing basically all paddling, threw a motor on it. And then I got introduced to Bonafide and stepped into it. And it was like stepping out of, basically it was like stepping into a bass boat again.
Yeah.
Stability-wise. And I've been with them ever since because it's just they have the perfect setup. It's light enough if you really need to. You can pick it up, throw it over your head.
Really?
Car top it easy enough. But once you put everything on it, it's still stable. I've never flipped one before. Does
it have a pedal drive or are you just strictly motor?
So I've got the P127. It's got a pedal drive.
Okay.
The SS127, you can paddle or pedal it. Or not pedal it, it doesn't have pedals. Paddle or motor. I put motor on both of them, and I was kind of altering back and forth. I got the P127 to fish some of the Hobie events, but then just didn't get into them that much because I got into fishing this trail and
only so much time in a day.
Yeah, and I still like river fishing, so I just got the RVR 119, and that is probably my favorite hole they've ever come out with.
Do you do quite a bit of that around the house?
Yeah, we got a bunch of rivers around here. They got a river series too that we've been fishing, and pretty much since that's how we started. it's just you can get smallmouth and largemouth and everything else. It's just
Lots
just
of
a little bit.
partiers.
Yeah, you got to pick the right river at the right time.
Okay, so and then are you on like the Bonafide team or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
If I got on Bonafide, they asked me to join them on. I think it was the first year over at the Classic. We fished Logan Martin, and I was walking through the Classic because I got to walk the stage, and ran across Justin Floyd, and I had my jersey on, and he goes, "Hey, I think I saw your name on there because I had my name badge on." And he goes, "See you fish out of Bonafide," because you see I had big bass for the tournament. They had the
Now, did he say Bonafide or did he say Bonafide?
I'm not positive on that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted you, but sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, he goes, "So why aren't you on the Bonafide team?" And I was like, "Well, nobody's asked me." He's like, "Well, welcome to the Bonafide team."
Nice.
So that's basically how I got on.
Heck yeah. John Miller's asking about your Kistler cap. He noticed that. He said, I got a helium 7-foot medium heavy for Christmas. Do you throw their rods? What do you think? I really like their reels. Sorry if I missed this earlier. No, you did not, John. You did not miss anything, but it's a great segue into what I'm assuming is another sponsor of his.
Mm-hmm. So I got to just throw a Kistler once. Josh Booth actually introduced me to him. And I had just an assortment of different things that I had picked up and liked and stuff like that. Yep. But it's kind of hard to fish efficiently with just a bunch of random things that just don't feel right when you go from one to the other. I mean, you can't cast right.
Yeah.
So I got on with them, and that's all I threw. And I've not broke one of their rods in, I believe, since 2018, and I've used them heavily.
Yeah. Are you running their reels?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Got the reels. They don't put out anything junk. I mean, I consider the top of the line of if it's gonna have their name on it, it's gonna be the best out there.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I've always heard a lot of good things about them. So and companies that are supporting the kayak fishing community, I'm all for it. I may have a different sponsor myself, but I think it's an awesome thing when a company invests their time or their money or whatever it may be into the sport. Whether that's an individual or an organization. It's a great thing for all of us, especially when those companies feel like they are getting a return on their investment. They will continue to pour money into the sport. So, yeah, I think it's an awesome deal. And what about? Do you have any other sponsors you want to maybe shout out while we're on the subject?
Crockett Gator's a big one. They help me out a lot. I mean, I use a lot of their products. I used a lot of them before they were a sponsor, and
yeah,
I mean, pretty much any sponsor that I've got, I used their products before I got on with them. And so I don't like to jump back and forth to different things and just try out different companies because something's free.
Yeah.
If it's not working the way I use and stuff, then I'm probably not going to be looking to get on their team because it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But yeah, old Blue Tackle, Yak Attack. I mean, everything. Well, what's actually holding my phone right now is a Yak Attack arm hanging off of their black pack.
Yeah.
And
what's one of your favorite Yak Attack accessories?
Probably I'd say the black pack because I use it so much, but I picked that paddle up here and there, and to be able to have something that will hold, that you just snap the paddle down and pop right back out just as quick without having to deal with some kind of bungee or having it flopping around.
The little roto grip deal.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing out of anything they got.
And if you guys have one and you're not a paddle guy, you're not using that paddle very often, Works great for a net as well.
and a catch board.
Oh, does
So
it? It fits down
they
in
got
there.
that. They got that new double header that has the
Okay.
twin metal grips on it,
Yep.
and you can take that catch board, put it in there, and pop it upright, and it'll snap it right in place, and it won't move.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's
And it'll
like
hold it right beside you, vertical or horizontal.
I'm always fumbling for my board. Always fumbling for my board and my net.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yak Attack is they've been taking care of the kayak guys since I came on the scene. That's for sure. So yeah, shout out to those guys as well. Yeah, and I know when we've had Chad on a couple times, and he's got nothing but great things to say about Crocagator and seeing all the guys that are on the Crocagator team doing well. That DC worm, I think he was talking about, and then what'd you call the one that you were using?
They call it COG worm.
COG worm. Yeah, that one looked really cool for shaky head. Maybe even in like a big Nico rig or something like that.
You can cut it down too and use it kind of like a Ned rig style with that bulb on the back.
Yeah, heck yeah. How is your what are you running for electronics?
Garmin. So I've got it's a 126 SD.
Yep.
And so I've started running it this year, just so I can use live scope a little more effectively and kind of see the screen a little better.
Yeah.
And so I've got it kind of laid down at my feet, so it's staring right up at me.
Do you use live scope quite a bit?
Depends on where I'm at and the time of year. So I'll use it more in the winter time when things are kind of moving a little bit slower. I'm gonna have it with me up at La Crosse because I haven't got to try it out underneath the pads, but I want to see if I can see some stuff underneath the pad stems.
Oh, you'll see a whole lot of stuff for sure. Yeah, you won't be missing anything. Yeah, you'll definitely see some stuff through there. And let's see. I had something over here. What about your kayak layout? So you said you had a motor. What kind of motor are you running on it?
Torpedo, the 1103.
Okay.
So I run it on a one objective mount, where I can have the micro power pole in line with it.
Oh, nice. Use that power pole quite a bit.
Yeah, fishing shallow. I mean, even if I know I'm not going to fish shallow, I'll still have it in there because if I need to run the bank or something, or just got to stop it. I mean, I still run an anchor wizard off the front for that deeper water, or if the waves are just going up and down too much.
Or to keep you in place. I mean, because you'll still spin around with that thing at the back, right?
Yeah. Typically, you got to use that kind of strategically of which way the wind's blowing, and
yeah. Or drop that anchor wizard.
Yeah, drop it, and it'll hold it pretty good with that the bomb anchor.
Yeah, I think that's a MOYAK sponsor, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, he's a local guy out of St. Louis.
Is it? Okay. I wondered if it was kind of a local thing. CBG wants to know: are you gunning for the AOY for bass? Is that in
that was a plan this year. I was going to fish all 5, and I got 2 basically river tournaments that I tend to do better on the river type bodies of water. So I'm hoping if I can get 2 top 10s, because they take your top 3, and my last 2 weren't great, but I'm hoping the next 2 are going to help push it up there a little bit.
Heck yeah. What okay, so I had you pulled up on TurnEX here. It looks like I was trying to look for some of your stats. I feel like I've seen you on the leaderboards quite a bit over the last few years. Have you made a run at AOY and MOYAK? Have you maybe I'm behind here. Maybe you've won it. I don't know, but I know I've seen you in the leaderboard. What does that kind of look like for you the last few years here locally?
So in I think it was 2020, I won MOYAK AOI.
Very nice.
The year before, I believe I was runner up. I think.
Nice.
The year after that one, I think I was usually finish in the top five to three.
Pretty damn consistent. Oh
And
yeah.
then I did win the very first year of the All American. Won the AOI on it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I really wish Bass would have had AOI going their first year, because I think 8th place was my worst finish for the whole year.
Wow.
That first year. So I think I could have got that one.
Wow. Yeah. What do you think about? So have you been fishing it since they started it?
Yeah.
What do you think about where it was at then compared to where it's at now?
Oh, it's leaps and bounds better now. Since Steve took it over, the payout's better, the arrangement's better, everything's organized better. You get stuff a lot earlier. Next year, I think it's going to be probably twice as good. It just keeps getting better. Gets better ideas. Get a lot of input. You've seen the different trails and how they run them, and he gets a lot of input from just different guys that I've talked to. I didn't know you even talked to, just to get ideas from.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah. It seems I've actually never fished the national stuff. I run like the local Kansas, Bass Nation Kayak Series. So tied up with that side of things. That's my excuse, anyways. But yeah, are you fishing the local stuff as well, or are you just going for the national as far as Bassmaster is concerned?
Yeah, basically MOYAK and Bassmaster are the only two I'm fishing this year, and I'm fishing some of the river events, which I'm not sure if I'll get to fish enough of them for their AOI, but I'm gonna see if I can what I can do with MOYAK, kind of stay up on it, since I've already missed the two that I'd be dropping.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Do you get into any of the big swim bait stuff?
I've got them, and I just haven't thrown them enough to keep my confidence in them. I get a couple casts out of them, but I know you got to pick the right place, and I have a hard time putting down what they're biting on in hopes of catching one big one, and that's probably what puts me in that consistent but never the top spot as much. So that's something I was trying to focus on more this year, but it's hard.
Yeah. Well, you can't argue with consistency either, but you could spend a bunch, and likely you would spend a bunch of time throwing big baits without any incredible results. It's one of those things that can be feast or famine. So it'd be easy to get burnt out on when you're used to doing so well. So I could definitely see that. Let me see here. I've got. Let's see. Now, what is one of the baits that like you're known for throwing? Are you one of those guys where everybody just assumes you're throwing one bait, or you try to be pretty diverse in your lineup?
So everybody, I think, feels like I either throw a chatterbait or a buzzbait.
Okay, that's what they know you for.
Kind of known to fish not slow.
Yep.
So I did buy a 10-to-1 reel to try to keep up.
Oh wow.
Here, and so if I'm on the move, I hate covering water and not having a line in. So I'll have something that I can keep up with that I can be going 5 mile an hour and it's still working like it should.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the guys that do really well, they're always known for throwing a particular bait. It seems like. What kind of, so you said you were a shallow guy. What kind of cover and structure are you typically looking for when you get out there?
I mean, I really like either standing timber, stumps. I mean, I'll try to pick an area that's got a pretty good diverse amount of it. So if I run out of it, I know I can get within range of it somewhere else. Um, but since I'm usually fishing dirtier water, I know they're going to be hugging something. If the sun pops out, or if it's not sunny, they're usually still in ambush mode.
Yeah. Okay.
But I know sometimes spraying hurts me, but
oh, I was trying to think. I had something right on the tip of my tongue, and I totally forgot. Okay, so one thing that a lot of guys like to know about is what you do for a living. I'm assuming you're not a full-time angler yet, and maybe you are, but what do you do for a living?
so I own a business. I got into what's called a rainbow home cleaning system. Um, they've been around for 87 years, and basically it's a combination home cleaning system and air purification system for your home. So basically, if you have allergies, it's the one thing you need in your house. And so that's my business. That gives me a lot of free time to be able to travel, and it's just I don't know how else I'd be able to cover these national events with any other job unless I was retired.
Yeah, heck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you see a lot of guys chasing their pro angler dreams, and they fund that with their business. You see a lot of guys in the opens that are all business owners, and they're running pretty large operations, and they're probably pretty dang busy every single waking minute that they're not out there fishing those tournaments. But yeah, so is that like a goal for you? Has that thought crossed your mind of kind of crossing over into that full-time angler status like you've seen a handful of people do?
I would like to do it full time. I think it's got a little ways to go before it's really possible, but I mean, I can see that they're working their way up that way. Entry fees start going higher. They start making more of an elite class. I think it could be possible where you can get bigger companies on. But yeah, it's always been. I mean, I've watched Bassmaster since I don't know when I can walk, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even all through elementary and school. It was my mom showed me pictures I used to draw, and they asked what you want to be for when you grow up, and that's a professional fisherman. So
Wow.
it's something I always wanted to do, and this is about the closest I've gotten so far. It's just when you can't, it's harder to dabble in it in a bass boat without going all full in, and it's a lot more money, so you got to have a lot more bigger sponsors to do it.
Yeah. Is that how much of it is financial for you, keeping you out of a bass boat? Do you have a bass boat?
I got one. My parents actually own a marina. That's kind of what I got started, what I grew up in.
Nice.
So I mean, I've got my own bass boat, but if I need one or just want to borrow and basically use a newer one, I can go hop in. They've got the Vexus dealership.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'll eventually have one of my own, just so I'm not having to worry about borrowing one, try to load and unload and stuff like that. But yeah, they're I kind of consider them one of my sponsors too, because they help me out a lot doing this, especially with travel and stuff. Having kids, they help watch the kids a lot, and a lot of the logistics and stuff. My wife's not pulling all her hair out trying to to do that while I'm gone.
I would, yeah, because that would be a pretty expensive deal if you had to pay somebody. Babysitting is not cheap.
No, we're really fortunate to have them.
Here's another popular question: is what is your go-to snack out there on the water?
Well, that's the other thing I was kind of known for was if the powdered donuts taste good, it's going to be a good day.
Okay, all right. So powdered donuts. Are you bringing like milk along with you, or?
Yeah, powdered donuts and a bottle of chocolate milk. I can sit there and basically pop one in, keep the carbs going, so I can keep casting and not get worn out.
Yeah, it's like you got to find a snack that doesn't require a whole lot of hands, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. So the powdered donuts, that's the go-to.
Yep. Eat them right up till about noon, and then they kind of run out. It's lunchtime, and that'll hold me over the rest of the tournament.
How do you feel about having a banana in your boat?
Well, I had one on Table Rock, so
that the one that you won.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm guessing I feel pretty good about it.
Before that,
never thought much about it.
Yeah.
Superstition, as far as that goes. The donuts is probably about the closest I got to.
Like had to have the donuts.
Yeah, they had to be a thing. Otherwise, I was gonna have a bad day. Probably more because I was hungry than anything, but.
Right. So you just randomly ended up with a banana on the boat. Was it an accident or?
Well, I took one with me, and I think I made a post about it the day before the tournament or a couple days before when I went out to practice.
Okay.
And put on there, so this is a bad thing. And I had a banana laying in the hole down the floor, and had a whole bunch of mixed responses in there. And so I thought I'll just take one with me on tournament day.
There you go. Heck yeah. I like it. I had one of those days with the banana on the boat, and I don't know how much I'm really believe in superstitions, but actually earlier this spring I would not intentionally bring a banana on the boat, right? I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it, but I would absolutely not bring a banana on the boat on purpose. Well, I bought some snacks at the grocery store, before I headed out that morning. And I bought a banana, but I intended on eating it in the truck on the way. Well, I didn't realize I had it in the boat until I was already out on the water and I was pulling out my snacks. And I'm like, oh crap, I got a banana on the boat, and ended up hooking into some really good fish. So now I'm convinced it's a good thing.
There it is. Big girls like bananas.
There you go. Big girls like bananas. I like it. Okay. So next one up for you is going to be a Bassmaster event up on, I just drew a blank. What's that river chain? Mississippi. Yep. What about the next MOYAK event?
The next MOYAK event's actually not until August, and it's on a little lake called Wapapello.
Okay.
Never seen it. I've only heard about it, kind of. I drove past it once. So I'll basically it's about 3 hours from my house, so it's a little bit of a drive. So I'll probably go down the day before, just scope everything out, see what it looks like. I heard it's got grass in it, so I'm going to see if I can take what I use in different places and apply it to it.
I guess you don't have a ton of grass on like Table Rock, or what about like Lake of the Ozarks or
those? There's really not vegetation on any of these lakes around here except for like Taneycomo, which is more of kind of a trout lake that's got some big bass in it. But none of these bigger lakes, they've kind of killed it off, and I've only seen one spot in Lake of the Ozarks that's got lily pads on it, and it's about a 20-yard stretch.
Really? Yeah, not much at all. That's cool. All right. Well, anything that you would like to mention that you're looking forward to for the season, or anything that you've got coming up that you want to let people know about?
Not a whole lot. Just looking towards the next couple events. Hopefully doing great in them, and maybe bring home another trophy this year.
Heck yeah. That was a That was a hell of a trophy you got there.
Yeah, it's actually
Do you have it?
been sitting right back there. So.
Oh, there you go. Heck yeah.
Yeah, they put a pretty good trophy out there.
The trophies look like this year, or did he do some different stuff?
So last year they were doing the kind of the big poster boards, or and then they were doing some of the wood plaques, real big kind of chunk of wood.
Kind of like they do for the All-American one.
Yeah, they were doing that. And so this year they switched over to doing just your cups.
That's cool.
So
you got to mix it up for guys like you that have a whole bunch of them. You gotta have a variety.
Yeah, you don't want to blend in. Then we can tell which one's actually one you won and one that you almost won.
Right.
Got a lot of the almost ones.
Heck yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and that hour just kind of flew by. Did you have anything else in the tackle box that you wanted to break down? I don't know if we kind of cut that short, or I'm kind of all over the place.
A must-have is
there you go.
sunscreen, because the shins are starting to see freckles, and they got to be covered. Got a lot of the hard baits, so I don't know how much of that you can see. So terminal tackle, it stays on one side. And then you got, of course, a handful of the head knockers. Just a few different ones, different colors, whatever may pop up for the occasion for the day. Usually they're not biting one color, they bite the other. And there we have a handful of just spinner baits and a handful of jackhammers and different bladed baits. So by the end of the tournament, it's a giant mess.
Now, do those kind of end up in there because that's what you've been throwing, and you just toss them back in there and just kind of left them in there?
Yeah. Usually before the next tournament, I'll go through and clean them up so that way they're not just making them look like a Christmas tree.
Heck yeah.
But
yeah. Well, I think a lot of people can. I think a lot of people can probably relate with that tackle tray there.
Yeah,
it looks kind of like mine.
Yeah, it's hard to. The P127 doesn't have the tray, so it was really hard the first couple times I used it to not have it down there. So I had to go find some kind of a storage box that I could drop things in, and
nice.
Be somewhat unorganized and organized at the same time.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I like it, man. I don't know that we've ever met in person before. I want to say we haven't. We may have crossed paths at some point, but I don't think I've ever, sat down and had a conversation with you. So I appreciate you coming on, and it was cool to get to know you, and I'm sure a lot of the MOYAK guys will come on here later on and watch this episode, and just kind of wanted to introduce people to you and learn a little bit about what you're doing. So been watching you from afar for years, and yeah, just appreciate you coming on tonight, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done a podcast, so I'd been kind of scrambling around to get things together. I was hoping to have we're putting a shop up, and it got delayed, and I was hoping to have some kind of an area that looked a little more podcasty and not like a weight room.
Yeah, well, I don't have the best setup either, so I just got a curtain.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, hopefully I'll see you out there at one of those MOYAK events one of these days when I find the time to go donate some money. But yeah, anything that you want to mention before you go?
I think that's about it. Thanks for having me. And
yes, sir.
We'll see you at one of them.
Yes, sir. We'll
have that big hill event. I think that Kansas.
That's right. Are you coming down?
I've not got to participate in that one yet. There's always been something going on at the same time.
Yeah.
but I may look at it this year to see if it's a
Yeah.
possibility.
You ought to. It's gonna be a really cool experience. I don't know if you've ever fished in that area, but it's pretty wild. It's like you're in a whole nother world. It's nuts. Just all the little ponds. I mean, they're little tiny ones, big ones. They're just everywhere. There's over 1,000 of them.
Huh.
It's pretty
Yeah, I'll
wild.
try it out one of these years.
Heck yeah, man. All right. Well, we'll be following you along, and hopefully we'll see you do well up there on the Mississippi.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, man. You have a good one.
All right, thanks, you too.
All righty. All right, you guys. Battery is running low on the computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the announcements on the winners here in just a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run inside. I'm going to grab my charger. That way we don't die in the middle of the broadcast. So give me just a couple minutes, and I will go grab my charger so we can do our giveaway. So appreciate you guys for all tuning in, and really cool to be talking to Lance tonight. Like I say, I've been kind of watching him from afar, and saw an opportunity to get him on, and really enjoyed the conversation tonight. I'm sure you guys did as well. But if you have any questions that we didn't answer tonight, make sure you put them over there in the comment section, and we'll get back with you on that. So give me just a minute here, and I'm going to put something on for you guys to watch while I run off. And I'll only be gone for a couple minutes here. All right, I'll be back in just a minute. It's raining out here, guys. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a pretty sweet little video and a giveaway in store for you guys. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video to check that out. I went out after work, ran into a buddy at the boat ramp. He hopped on, and we caught a few good fish. So we're going to check out these fish catches here in just a minute, but I want to shout out to F5. We caught some fish on the F5 rods in this video, so stay tuned for that. A lot of you guys are gaining a lot of knowledge when it comes to marine electronics from this channel, and I want to mention that I do work at Russell Marine Products. If you guys are interested in upgrading the electronics on your boat, make sure you give me a call at 316-313-4113. I'm at extension 407, or just ask for John. I can definitely help guide you in the direction that would be the best fit for your boat. So guys, if you're looking to upgrade, give me a shout. I would love to help you out. Okay, that was just a little preview of one of my latest on the water videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little intro. Spent some time on getting that thing edited. That is a little bit more of a lengthy process than most people might assume. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've got a notepad pulled up here. I've got 24 people that have been entered into the drawing. I've got 24 entries. Actually, I've got one person that entered twice. They purchased two separate. They had two separate orders on the Behind the Reel merch, so they actually ended up with the second entry. But I have 24 entries. We've got them labeled from 1 to 24. And I've got that list right here. Number 1 is Danny Barrett. Number 2 is Jose V. Number 3 is Lee Slates. Number 4 is Frankie Miller. Number 5 is Eric Braden. 6 is Ira Lays. 7 is Joseph Hayes. 8 is Chris Farmer. 9 is Caleb Van Wingerden. 10 is Christopher Gioa. Sorry if I'm probably pronouncing some of these wrong. 11, Matthew Underwood. 12, Marco Munoz. 13 is Jose V again. 14, William Bond. 15, Sam Burke. 16, Brett Moore. 17, Derek Roberts. 18, Clayton Smith. 19, Chad Scarlett. 20, Shannon Copeland. 21, Travis Clark. 22, Chad Dawson. 23, Jason Vanley. And 24 is Ivan Diaz. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to do a random number generator here. And I'll pull that up here in just a second. Okay. Let's go with this one right here. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a random number generator. Okay. We're going to do 1 through 24. Okay. 1 through 24. The first thing we're giving away is going to be the Legal Dope Super Tiny. We're giving this bait away. The number that I am getting ready to draw is going to win this bait. So if I call your number and your name, you need to contact me through Facebook, through YouTube, through whatever. Call me, email me, text me. Let me know your address, and I will ship this bait directly to your front door. I do want to thank everybody who purchased the Behind the Reel merch. We've got some really cool stuff. If you guys haven't purchased anything and you want to show some support to the channel, this is a really great way to do so. Put some time and money into these designs. So I definitely do appreciate it. And it's really cool to see people catching fish with my apparel on. So that's awesome. I appreciate you guys. Let's give this thing away. This is the Legal Dope Super Tiny. We're going to go ahead, pick a number. Let me make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing on the screen. Okay, 1 through 24. Let's do it. Number 20. Who is it? Number 20 is Shannon Copeland, Kansas guy, Kansas kayak anglers guy. Heck yeah, man. I'm happy to see you get this bait. Give me a shout. I know I probably have your address and stuff, but go ahead, shoot me a message, and I'll get this thing headed to you. Okay, so number 20's out. Okay, we're not going to draw number 20 again. If we do, we're going to move on to the next person. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the Legal Dope bait of your choice. Okay, so it's another Legal Dope bait, but you actually get to decide what bait you get. Appreciate you guys in the comment section down there. Devin, thanks for tuning in. And Organic, he said, oh no, not El Dorado. So heck yeah, world famous El Dorado Lake. All right, so we gave away one of the big prizes here. Let's give away another 1 through 24. Let's hit it. Number 10. Who was number 10? Was it you? It was Christopher Gioia. I don't know. Christopher G. You won your choice of Legal Dope swim bait. So give me a shout. Let me know what bait you want, and I'll get the info over to Edwin. I'll get your address over to him, and we'll get you your bait. You need to holler at me, and we'll get you set up, man. Thanks for purchasing the merch. I really do appreciate that. All right, so next thing we've got up is an F5 Ghost Code. This is a spinning rod. And again, I just want to say I've really been I don't have a spinning rod yet, a Ghost Code spinning rod, but I really love their bait casters, so I'm sure their spinning rods are just as good. Let's go ahead and figure out who our winner is. Number 19. Was it you? Chad Scarlett. Heck yeah. I think that's another Kansas guy as well. So heck yeah. Appreciate you, Chad. Appreciate you supporting me all these years, and happy to send you this F5 spinning rod. So shoot me over your address, and we'll get this to you. All right, next thing up is an Amped Outdoors lithium battery, and this is going to be a 15 amp hour. I'm gonna write down who's won what so far, so I don't forget. So I don't have to go back and watch myself. I hate watching myself. Okay. Okay, and we had Chad won the rod. Okay, we're giving away a lithium battery, guys, valued at, I think it was like $150. So these are all really great prizes. I would be happy to win any of these, that's for sure. Okay, let's see what we got here. Number 12. Number 12 is Marco Munoz. Heck yeah, man. Another Kansas guy. Appreciate all the local support you guys have been showing me over the years. You guys are a big reason why this channel is where it is. So Marco, good friend of mine. He's been around since the very beginning of kayak fishing tournaments in Kansas, in particular in the Wichita area. So he's been a good friend of mine for a long time, and a big help in growing the sport and helping out with the club as well. So Marco, appreciate you, dude. Let's give away the Biz Baits prize pack valued at $50 here. You're going to get some really high quality soft plastics that I've caught a lot of fish on over the years. Let's do it. Number 8. Who are you? Chris Farmer. Shoot me your info. I'm going to get you some Biz Baits. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're enjoying the apparel. All right, last but not least, Savior Outdoors. We've got the retrieval kit that we're giving away. And this is going to keep you from losing your rod, your reel, and anything that might be attached to it. Your line, your bait, all that. You'll be able to get it back with this. So you can attach it to the butt of your rod, and it's got a float. That's what this green thing is here. There's a salt bobbin like you have in your automatic inflatable life jacket, and it will dissolve and it'll shoot the float out, and there's 60 feet of braided line in between the float and the rod. So as long as you're not in over 60 feet of water, you're good. But yeah, we're going to give this away, and we're going to pick a winner right now. Number 14. We didn't draw the same number twice. William Bond. William Bond, shoot me your info. I'll get this sent out to you. I want to thank all of you guys that participated in the giveaway, all of you guys that have supported the channel, that have bought merch, and I really do want to thank you. I'm going to continue doing this and trying to grow this channel, grow the sport as much as I can, and really do appreciate it. Let me know who you want to see on the next podcast. If you want to see somebody highlighted from your local series, shoot me over some suggestions, and I'll reach out to those people and see if we can't make it happen. Really thought it was a cool idea to kind of use this as like an angler spotlight. So people from different clubs around the country will be able to get in on the behind the reel action. So appreciate you guys. We got CBG. Can't believe it, John, but the previous 5 winners said to forward their prizes to me. The previous 5 winners. I'm sure they did. Ivan, I do appreciate you as well, showing me love clear up there in Vermont. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a meetup. I think you were in the area not too long ago, but next time you're in town, definitely hit me up and we'll go do some fishing. Guys, again, I want to thank you. Lance, I want to thank him for coming on the podcast. And we're going to try to start getting back to these podcasts a little bit more. Thank you guys very much. You guys have a good one, and we will see you on the next one.